I had two of these Ciacci Piccolomini Pianrosso Brunello di Montalcino from, 2010. It says it on the front. Hey, we've raided the cellar here. It was time for another cellar raid. And as I was going through the cellar and what I had available and what I wanted to taste, I was thinking 2010 Barolo. But the more I took stock out of what I had, 2010 Brunello stood out as the biggest volume, but also I had two of these Ciacci Piccolomini Pianrosso Brunello di Montalcino from 2010. It says it on the front. I bought a lot of, not a lot, probably, let's say, almost 3 cases of Brunello from the 2010 vineyard. Good Lord, vintage. And we've been checking in on them quite fairly frequently, probably like 2 to 4 times a year. And I thought it would be a good time to do so again. So we're going to taste this guy. And, anytime I do a cellar raid, I get really excited. But this one, Ciacci. I just talked about Ciacci on my Rosso di Montalcino video recently. And I'm excited to try this wine. So let's talk a little bit about the Ciacci Piccolomini estate. The estate has quite a story, and you really should check out their website. But the highlights are on New Year's Eve in 1877, the Ciacci family bought the estate. Elda Ciacci, the Countess, then married Alberto Piccolomini di Aragona, hence the name, right? And he was actually a direct descendant of Pope Pius II. So hence the name, right? On the bottle, we combine Ciacci and Piccolomini di Aragona. Then in 1985, the Countess bequeathed the property to Giuseppe Bianchini, who was a longtime farmer of the estate. He passed relatively recently, but now the estate is in the capable hands of his children, Paolo and Lucia. Now, the Pianrosso wine is separate and distinct from Ciacci's regular Brunello. I probably should have had the bottle of regular Brunello next to it so you would see the difference. But the grapes are sourced from a vineyard that is approximately 29 acres. It's easier for me to think in acres, but that's 11.69 hectares. The wine is not produced every year and is one of their most well-regarded wines. For instance, this was not produced in 2009 or 2011. It's also worth noting that when they select grapes for their Brunello Riserva, that the grapes come from the Pianrosso vineyard. So all of this just means that this should be special. The grapes are fermented in stainless steel and concrete vats, and then aged per Brunello regulations, right? Roughly 36 months in Slavonian oak and 8 or so months in the bottle. Let's get into the tasting. Oh, and check this out. I don't know if you can see, there's a little hologram there on the bottle to thwart the would-be counterfeiters. This bottle's been open and sitting on the counter for about 2.5 hours. Ooh, that's lighter than I would have thought. You're probably not going to get a real good look at the color. I'll do some separate videos. Definitely has some brown and orange around the edges, so that generally indicates some age in the wine. Oh, this is a big one. Not as deep and dark as I would have expected. I am getting much more red fruited aromas in this. I'm getting some dried leaves. There's a bunch of savory herbs in here. We're like, I always come back to thyme, but this could be a thyme, marjoram, oregano combo. I'm going to keep agitating this. You know, the Brunello wines are 100% Sangiovese, so I'm getting the cherries, as you would imagine. This has almost a little bit of a tar nose, or a tar essence in the nose as well. So, what did we say? Did I say leaves? Dried leaves of some sort? Leaves, tar, cherries, thyme, marjoram, oregano. Smells good. This bottle has been with me since I probably took it into my stock in 2015 or so. And it's made a few moves with me. Now it's been sitting in the wine cabinet for the last 4 years here. Smells good. This just doesn't show any sign. The wine is tougher than you think, right? This wine was not always stored in perfect conditions, as most of the pundits would say, like mid 50s in the cellar. But it's made it through. So this is a big wine. So the cherries, it's like a mix of cherries and twigs. This is pretty fascinating. The tannins are there, but not overly present, right? So my mouth is not like drying out severely. And so this wine, it's 15 years from vintage. It would make sense that those tannins have softened out. Some mushroom notes are coming in at the end, which is really nice. Finish is still going. We're probably at 30-ish seconds at least. This is delicious. Yeah, so cherries, twigs, mushrooms, and there is a menthol note. It's subtle, it's not aggressive, but that's definitely in here. That's something I don't typically get, or I haven't typically gotten from Brunello. I've seen it in some Spanish wines, specifically Vega Sicilia, when I did a tasting. Like the menthol note was always found its way through all those wines. But this has been a delightful cellar raid experience. This wine experience echoes my having Ciacci, Piccolomini, d'Aragona right at the top of my list when it comes to producers in Tuscany, in Brunello, in Montalcino, right? So you see Ciacci, you see Pianrosso, you should buy it. It's going to cost you. You see a Ciacci Brunello, you can definitely buy it without hesitation. And their Brunellos are, and even I say this is going to cost you, Ciacci's wines, I call them Ciacci, Joni loves Ciacci. Name the movie while we're doing that in every video now. Their wines are well priced, right? So they're not cheap by any means, but the wines are well priced. So you're not going to the top end. This is not a Val di Cava, right? Val di Cava, their Rossos are $80 to $90. Their Brunellos are I don't even know, probably $300 now. But Ciacci, you're nowhere near those numbers, right? And you get an amazing experience. So I would encourage you to seek these wines out. If you see them on a list and they're not too expensive, it'll be a good choice. Hey, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this cellar raid, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Cheers. First, let's talk about the estate. It's got quite a story, and I recommend you check out the website because it's a lot of fucking A, man.